Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today's video we have a bunch of new parts, and what we're going to do is get on and actually start installing some of them. So we've got some here, we've got new controllers in, so that's all good. The aim for today's video is we're going to get everything made. So we have the 3D printed prop shafts, we're going to have the proper spur gear to the pinion, get that in, and then we should technically by the end of today's video have at least power from the motor to the wheels. So that's the plan, that's the idea. So what we're going to do is quickly go through the different parts that we got in recently. Right, so these are the some of the parts that we had in for this project. Here we have a spare pinion, spur gear for the transmission. It is, I believe, there's the specs of it. It's a 48 dp, so that's the pitch of each tooth, and then there is 87 of them in total. But as the transmission has already got the spur gear on there already, we are going to be using this pinion here. This pinion is from Traxxas and it's a 15T by 32P. The 32P is what matches on the number that is on the gear here. So this ideally should match up with that. If it doesn't, we do have a backup, so we can swap this one over and run that teeth and that gear in. So that being said, so that's them. Here we got the servo for the top of the transmission to select the two speeds. So that would sit nicely here, and now the arm would select the gear on the other side. And then here we've got the main event. We've got a brand new 3-channel controller by Atronic. This is the EX3G transmitter. I've been running the Atronic systems for ages. I normally run the EX2, which is the 2-channel controller that they do, and it's really a good price, really reliable standard controller. I run them for ages and I've got them on every single one of my vehicles so far. Obviously I needed a 3-channel, not the 2, so I went to the 3-channel. This will now let me operate the servo via this button on the controller here, which is the 3rd channel. So hopefully we will be able to select the 2 speeds. So today what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to take the motor off, swap the gears out. Once that's all sorted, what we're then do is we're going to go ahead and design and mock up some prop shafts, print them out on my 3D printer. We're going to have to get that down, and once they are done, we can then put the prop shafts in. We can then start wiring up the ESC and all the other bits and pieces, and plug in the battery and see if it actually runs. So without further ado, let's get on and get that motor off. And my cupboards are self-destructing behind me, so let's carry on now. As that's in, we can now start with bolting this back in and looking at the prop shafts.
When when you speak. Angel, sing from above. Everyday void seems.
Right, so it is very useful if you can actually hang on to stuff from previous vehicles. This is my kind of odds, bits and pieces. I got another box as well full of odds and bits and pieces, and in here I'm hoping that there's some screws and some like pieces I can use to put all this together. Okay. So you got a load of little bits like for the servos. They got like the arms, the actual spinny bits. See, there's more there, and there. Aha! That'll be useful because these are good for. These are made for bolting the servo. So this will do, bolt into there, and these are the actual screws for that. So I'll hang on to those. I need them. Right, now I've found a bunch of stuff. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to bolt the servo to the to its position. When that's on, then I'm going to then start putting in the ESC and plugging that all in, and then I'm going to crack open the controller and get the controller synced up, and maybe just get it powered up to see if everything actually works properly.
This cut is fresh.
Right, so we've got everything plumbed in temporarily. And what we're going to do now is crack open the bottom of this battery compartment so we can actually put some batteries in the controller. Okay, power's on, makes a little bleeping noise to let you know it's on, which is nice, and it's got a little blue light here, so I'm liking it so far. So what we're going to do is put this out the way. Battery. I'm going to put it here temporarily. Right, it's got power. All I have to do is just turn it on now. Right, here we go. That's good. Oh, it works. Oh yes. That's the low range, jeez. Oh, there goes good. Right, so as you can see, it works. It actually. What we're going to do now is we're going to test the third channel. So this, we should hear a noise. Now we know that the 3-channel works, the servo goes back and forth, and it actually will operate the 2-speed here. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead, I'm going to tidy all of this wiring, swap those connectors around, and then have a look at the selector for the gearbox. Right, it's the next day, end of the last clip. The transmission jammed into the low range gear, and what it was, the pattern with the selector that provides the 2 powers, there's like 3 little pins, and it locks into each gear back and forth. And what happened was the one side, it's got this weird design, and it just jammed because the clearances were so tight. It just jammed and it would not free itself, so I had to literally had to take everything back apart. I just literally stripped the gearbox apart in bits, found out what it was, freed it up, and then I've just basically just dremeled very lightly the 3 pins that go into that one gear, so now it actually misses and still locks into place. But yes, so it's all okay now. It all selects gear. So I've put a load of grease in there. So that is all fine, and I've literally just finished reassembling it. Now we're back on track. What I'm going to do now for the last bit of this video, I'm just going to literally make a little selector to see if I can get this to work, and actually changing the 2 gears. As I was trying it out, I might have just blown the... Yeah, I blew the 3D print. But the... Okay, it does seem to work. What I might do is shorten the thread a little bit, maybe, but as it stands, that's really not bad. Right then, so now we got the sort of the selector kind of, well, finished. What we're going to do now is I'm going to probably sort out some prop shafts. I might actually go ahead and cut this up because this is aluminium, it's metal. The 2 ends are sorted already. I just need to cut them to length, put a hole in it, and then put the little metal pins, like the pins that go on the end of these, put them in, and then kind of, you know, make a set of aluminium prop shaft for that, because otherwise I'm just gonna have to keep having this problem all the time. Right, so I kind of just dug the prop shafts out of the transmission, all that there, and as you can see, it's completely destroyed them, so there was no chance of really these actually standing up to anything. But as I said, I'm going to swap them back onto here, and then cut this, cut that end, round it off with a Dremel and stuff like that, and then kind of just slot them back in. But that's going to be another video. I'm going to do that later, and there's a few other bits and pieces I need to do, like the battery holder. I need to sort out a battery holder. Oh, front diff. I need to diff lock the front like I do on the other one, because at the moment it's just an open diff, and off-roading, you don't want that. So I'm going to lock the front diff, and then we should be good then to run it and give it a test run. And then after the test run, we're going to then sort out the bodywork. But that's going to be it for this episode. As I said, in the next one we're going to do all those little bits and pieces, sort them out, and then we're going to give it a test run, and then we're also going to get this bodywork done, because I think the bodywork will look great. But until next time, thank you all for watching, and I hope to all see you on in the next one. Bye for now.